Now let's talk about NBA MVP, because Liv, Doc, loves the Nuggets and Jokic. Jokic, the finals MVP, and she thinks he's great. You think Jokic is trash. You think he's trash. So I think we should discuss this, and also that Liv thinks that Joel Embiid is the MVP again. So, like, why don't you, Liv, first of all, tell me your Embiid fascination. He's fighting for MVP. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
And then you can yell at Doc. You can yell at Doc Johnson over Jokic.
Well, listen, I will say I don't know if Embiid is going to get MVP, but I do think he's fighting for it. And I think that, how do I say this without being offensive? Actually, I don't really quite care if I'm being offensive. It's crazy to see what this 76ers team is able to do without James Harden. And I knew it would happen because I think James Harden is a very toxic teammate. And I think that once you remove that and you get them a coach that's not Doc Rivers, we're able to see that this team is finding some success. They're finding their groove. They're finding their rhythm. And I really do. I can appreciate watching Joel Embiid and the impact that he has on this team. Most valuable player. That's what that award means. It's not really what we choose to look at necessarily. I think it's become more of a popularity contest more than anything else, which is why a guy like Jokic, to me, feels like a great bet. It's a great place to put your money right now because not only is he dominant, although the Nuggets are on the struggle bus, I think there's time to fix that and turn that around. He is a dominant force, but most valuable player, I mean, you cannot deny the value that Embiid brings to the 76ers team. He's been dominant, and he's been, I think, trying to show everybody what he's really made of, and I think we all know what he's made of, but it's a matter of what can this team do in a playoff run, and I think the 76ers might have what they need this year. The only reason I would not bet on the 76ers to win a championship would be because of James Harden and Doc Rivers. Those two people are now out of the equation.
What?
So I'm not writing them up. I think that there's a lot of potential for the 76ers. And because it's a popularity contest, I think they do value how winning the team is. Can they make a playoff run? And I think that Embiid and the 76ers are sitting in a nice spot. But always, you know me, I'm a Jokic girl forever. So I'm just thinking that Embiid's making noise. That's all.
Tell her about Jokic. Tell her about Jokic,
okay.
how you just hate watching him.
I have always said, and Holly, you know this, Liv, maybe you're seeing this for the first time. I've been very consistent. I think that Jokic is the best, car dealership, air dancing looking player I've ever seen in my life. I don't find him entertaining to watch. I don't find him to be particularly engaging. I think there's a lot of fascinating racial context around which people are extremely excited about him. Doesn't mean he's not good. Doesn't mean he's not a champion. Doesn't mean he's not MVP quality. I just don't find the guy to be particularly entertaining. But I'll also say this about Embiid in the season that he happens to be having right now. Leading the league in points. He's up in assists. Look, Embiid was in a very bad situation. He was surrounded on both ends by, James Harden and Doc Rivers. And James Harden and Doc Rivers, to me, are like the NBA version of the MCU. It's kind of been coasting for years because something really good happened with Endgame like 5 years ago, and then people are kind of forgetting that they've been sort of half-stepping ever since. That's what James Harden is. James Harden hadn't been great in years, neither had Doc Rivers. Once those people are gone, and you have some new original ideas, suddenly the movies get better. And suddenly Embiid is better. I think the fact that his assists have gone up have been the most impressive. The problem is we got a hangover with both, right? Jokic is a champion, so of course it's like, hey, he's a champion, he's playing well, he's gone up, of course he should be MVP. I don't think either of them should be the MVP. The MVP of the league right here, right now, in December, is LeBron James, because he made the ridiculous and boring concept of an in-season tournament actually valuable to the league. You can't be more valuable than to make an absolutely worthless tournament seem like real television with real ratings. So until either of those guys does something that historic, I say they're just numbers and stats adventures until we get to the playoffs.
Okay. Here we go. Okay. So while I respect the take, the opinion, I do. I respect it. I hear it. This was a problem that I had last season with the Nuggets, right? Making a very, very clear playoff run. They won the West. They won the West comfortably, I might add. That very entertaining, dominant LeBron James was swept in a pretty brutal fashion in the Western Conference, okay? So I battled this back and forth on X, Twitter, whatever you call it, with a lot of people, right? The concept of the Nuggets are boring. That was the concept. And essentially, that's kind of the entertainment factor that you feel like you've lost with Jokic. I can understand that. Here's what I have to say about that. Did LeBron James make the in-season tournament exciting and entertaining? Sure. Do I care about it? No, I don't. I don't care about the in-season tournament. And to be honest with you, if I think that the difference between you and I is that we're watching basketball from a different lens. To me, Nikola Jokic, from a skill perspective, is playing the best basketball. There is not a single person. He embarrassed Anthony Davis. He embarrassed the Los Angeles Lakers as a whole. LeBron James came out and said, I have never played against a guy like this. He is, I don't even want to say alien because that sounds rude, but he is playing a different version of basketball than we've seen. He makes it look easy. It looks effortless. He is virtually unguardable in most games that he plays in a regular season and in the playoffs. So to me, people that watch basketball for the entertainment value, that really is not how I'm watching the sport. If I want to watch entertainment, I'm turning on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills or the Real Housewives of Orange County and watching some drama. So I get the aspect of not wanting to watch Jokic because he can be a little dry. He can be a little dry and he maybe doesn't have that entertainment value. But to me, entertainment is skill, which he has. Entertainment is winning games, which he did a lot last season, yet people still said this Nuggets team is boring. Entertainment is history being made, which is the Nuggets winning their first ever championship. I don't know how anybody doesn't look at that Nuggets team or look at Nikola Jokic and what they're doing and not say this is entertaining. I think the difference between you and I is we have different versions of what entertaining looks like in the National Basketball Association. So I hear you. But to me, LeBron James flopping on the ground, LeBron James flopping on the ground, and Anthony Davis saying I'm him in an in-season tournament, I don't find that entertaining, but to each his own. To each his own.
Okay, a word with Jason Johnson. The final word. The final word with Jason Johnson. Go ahead.
Here we go.
I'm going to make this real simple. This ain't new. This ain't new. I thought Tim Duncan was boring. Okay? There are lots of teams that I didn't find entertaining. This is entertainment. It is sports.
So many shots.
Part of this is to entertain people. They ain't saving lives. They ain't saving cities. They ain't saving countries. They are entertaining us. So I can say somebody is skilled. I can say, look, you can tell me that Caitlin Clark is a highly skilled player. I still rather watch Aja Wilson. That's just me, because entertainment matters to me. I don't find Caitlin Clark to be as entertaining, obviously, college versus NBA or WNBA, but entertainment actually does matter. Does it mean you're less of a champion? No. Does it mean that you don't have an impact on the game? No. But if we're talking about where we are in the season right now, who has had a bigger impact on the season? Anthony Davis don't need nobody else to embarrass him. He embarrasses himself. His nickname is Street Clothes. Like, how can you be more embarrassing than that? But if you're talking about who has had the biggest impact on a team that otherwise wouldn't be where it is, or a league that wouldn't be where it is, it happens to be LeBron James. That is my belief. It doesn't mean that how I look at sports or you look at sports is wrong. It just means the way I look at sports is the way the majority of people look at sports. I need to be entertained in addition to see a statistic.
Entertained. Are you not entertained by Jason Johnson?
Are you not entertained?
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.